Hey, this is Cameron. So it's been a while since I've given a AutoRust demo. Here, we've merged AutoRust into the Azure SDK for Rust, and it's in the services folder in AutoRust. So, and there's an example in there called Gen Management. It's this file, and it expects the REST API specs repository to be cloned to a sibling folder. So it does skip several services that there's issues with generating code from, and it skips a few different service tags, and it does some workarounds for recursive types, and then it just kind of loops through everything and generates code. So I have pulled down the latest. So I'm on the master branch. There's no, this is Azure REST API specs. I've grabbed the latest. Last time I did a generation was week, maybe 10 days ago or so. And so I'm going to run cargo run example gen management to run that script essentially and compile it in release mode so that it's fast. And we're in the services AutoRust folder. There's a workspace in here that's separate from the other ones. So this generally takes about less than a minute, and it's we'll see in the demo. There's over 900 different API versions, and ignore a few of the warnings, but you can see here that it's just counting the different APIs, and then it's printing off a few warnings. I'll suppress those later, but you can see here it's actually printing off all the different API versions as it goes through them. And there we go. It's generated code for 185 different services in Azure and 900 some different API versions in what was probably about a minute. So now I'm going to CD back to this directory, and there's a workspace in this one too, and I'm going to do a cargo format. Now this actually takes longer than the code generation. It takes about a minute and a half. So the outputted code is basically just like on one line, and it's just, there's no spacing. And so the format actually adds it, formats the code. And so when I open it up to compare and to look at the differences, everything will be, it'll only show me the differences. So the Azure service specs are continuously worked on. If you look at the repository, you will, there's like 300 pull requests, and there's, tens per day that get added. So the service specs do get updated, sometimes even the stable ones, but some of the older ones get retired. Some of them get fixed. Anyway, it's constantly changing, and formatting is done. So I'm going to open up Visual Studio Code to this directory, and we'll take a look and see what kind of changes it made. We'll go to all right, so 144 changes, a bunch of modified files. You can see here that ADP, a preview API has been added for ADP. Then in API management, it's been slightly modified. It's fine. Application Insights, a preview was added for one called 2021-03 only. Let's see. A preview is added for Databox Edge. The Databricks from 2018 was modified. So load balancer, backend pool name. So the next thing I do is just kind of review the changes, make sure everything looks right. There's 144 here. I'm going to close this down and do I just do a cargo build to make sure that all the generated code works before I create a pull request. And so these are all the different crates that are generated from AutoRust. They come directly from the specifications. So the folder name used for the specification is the name listed here for the crate. And then I guess while we're watching this go through, so I guess it's worth mentioning that, all the different API versions end up being different features. So you can deselect, or it's going to default to the first non-preview API in the README file. So in this case, it ends up being feature ends up being the default. But you can change it to any of the other API versions. Only the default version gets tested and compiled. It'd be cool in the future to literally test all the different API versions, but for now it's just the default. It's kind of like we need to generate documentation ideally for all the different API versions, but for now it's just going to be the default one until we figure out how to do that. And you can, if you need to, switch out the version. You can just say default features false, and then say features and add that particular API version. If you need to support, if you're writing an application, boo, it didn't compile. What I would do is take a look at that package and figure out why it didn't compile, and either remove that package from code generation, or anyway, figure out why, and then put a note and maybe add it to the gen management script to. So I'd either fix it or I'd block it. So that's it. But I would fix that before creating a pull request. So had that not aired out, I would then create a pull request with the changes, and we'd be good to go. So that is it on a demo of AutoRust in its current state. Thank you. Bye.